On the 18th of August 2010, a diving expedition in the Vortex Spring Cave took a terrifying turn for Ben McDaniel, leading to what would become one of the most perplexing mysteries in the history of diving. Here is his tale. On Wednesday, August 18th, Ben McDaniel returned to his parents' beach house in Santa Rosa, having spent the previous weeks with them in Tennessee. Around noon, he visited Vortex Spring, a well-known diving location north of Ponce de Leon, and completed a dive. During this initial dive, other divers observed him examining the entrance to a deep cave within the spring, seemingly making plans. Later, he resurfaced, left the water, and refilled his tanks at the nearby dive shop, as captured by the shop's security cameras. Ben spent the afternoon by the spring shore, checking his gear and jotting down notes, presumably in his dive logs. That evening, after a hot day of 32 Celsius, 90 Fahrenheit, Ben appeared to gear up for another dive. At 7:30 p.m., he had a normal phone conversation with his mother, unaware that it would be their last. He then geared up and re-entered the spring. As he swam in the 20 Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit water, he encountered two dive shop employees returning from a dive, noticing Ben's lights and helmet, indicating his intention to enter the cave. The cave at Vortex Spring is secured with a rebar gate, locked with a padlock, and only accessible to dive shop employees. Entry is strictly regulated, requiring explicit permission and a valid cave diving certificate, neither of which Ben had. However, the employees had suspected Ben of previously forcing the gate open. They often waited on shore for Ben's late-night dives, watching for bubbles indicating his decompression stops before leaving. On this night, one employee swam down with Ben and unlocked the gate for him. They swam through the large cavern, passing the iconic Grim Reaper sign warning of the dangers and deaths associated with cave diving. Undeterred, they continued to the locked rebar gate, which the employee opened. Ben then maneuvered under the narrow limestone overhang and disappeared from view, marking the last known sighting of him. Ben McDaniel, born on April 15, 1980 in Memphis, Tennessee, was the eldest of three children. By his 20s, his parents had become quite affluent, but Ben's life was taking a different turn. The late 2000s were particularly challenging for him. He lost his 22-year-old younger brother to what was initially thought to be a stroke, a devastating blow as they were close despite their age difference. Ben, who found his brother unconscious at home, was unable to revive him, and paramedics declared him dead upon arrival. The family later set up a foundation for similar conditions, which Ben supported, but it was later revealed that his brother's death was due to a drug overdose. Concurrently, Ben was undergoing a difficult divorce, and his construction business was failing amid the economic downturn, leaving him $50,000 in debt to the IRS and forcing him to move back with his parents. Recognizing his struggles, his parents suggested he take a sabbatical at their Florida beach house, offering support until he could recover. Ben moved there in April 2010, and the change was beneficial. His parents and girlfriend noticed a positive shift in his demeanor, as he began to look forward to the future, less burdened by his recent hardships. His passion for scuba diving, a longtime interest, intensified in Florida, particularly at Vortex Spring. The spring, known for its clear, warm waters, caters to divers of all levels and houses the state's largest diving facility. While suitable for beginners, its main attraction for experienced divers is a massive cave. The spring descends to 60 feet 18 meters, leading to a 9 by 12 feet cavern entrance with a handrail. The cavern extends 300 feet 91.4 meters to a depth of 115 feet 35 meters, culminating at the cave's gated entrance. Access to this deeper section requires cave certification, emphasizing the stark difference between open water and cave diving. The gate was installed following over a dozen deaths in the cave during the 1990s, which nearly led to a state-imposed ban on diving in the spring. The cave, with over 1,600 feet, 488 meters, of mapped limestone passages and depths reaching 310 feet, 95 meters, presents a formidable challenge. Some passages are as narrow as 10 inches, 25.4 cm, requiring divers to remove their tanks and contort their bodies to navigate. In the weeks before August 18th, Ben had become a familiar figure at Vortex Spring, often seen diving or by the waterside. On the night he was allowed through the gate, the employees, deviating from their usual practice, left immediately. The next morning, Ben's truck remained in the parking lot, but it wasn't until Friday that his continued absence raised concerns, prompting a call to the police. The investigation began with the police sealing off the spring and searching Ben's truck, where they found his wallet containing $100, his cell phone, and dive logs detailing his cave explorations and maps. A visit to his parents' beach house revealed his unattended dog, indicating Ben had been missing for about 2 days. Police and dive shop employees suspected Ben was still in the cave, possibly drowned. Cadaver dogs led them to the water's surface, supporting this theory. The diving community rallied, with volunteers aiding in the search, presumed to be a body recovery. However, the operation's complexity and danger were highlighted by experienced divers, emphasizing the risk of additional fatalities. The search expanded to smaller tunnels and crevices, considering the possibility of Ben panicking and wedging himself in a narrow space. The risk was underscored when a diver narrowly escaped death in the cave. Despite exhaustive efforts, only 3 tanks believed to be Ben's were found, 2 in the outer cavern and 1 200 feet, 61 meters, into the cave. The tank's regular air content was puzzling, as Ben's depth required a different gas mixture to avoid nitrogen narcosis, contradicting his dive logs showing previous cave dives. This added to the mystery and confusion. By Sunday, 4 days after Ben's disappearance and 2 days into the search, diving legend Ed Sorensen was contacted. Sorensen, a renowned cave diver and recovery specialist, arrived from the Bahamas and conducted 3 dives covering 1,700 feet, 518 meters of the cave, surpassing Ben's mapped areas. Despite using advanced equipment and techniques, Sorensen found no trace of Ben, equipment, or signs of disturbance in the silt, challenging the likelihood of Ben navigating further than him, given their size difference and Ben's inexperience. Ben's parents, desperate for answers, hired the cave's original mapper and deployed a remotely operated underwater vehicle, but both efforts mirrored previous results. The extensive search, involving 16 divers over 36 days, yielded nothing, with volunteer efforts continuing for months. Police expanded the search to surrounding areas, considering alternative theories such as body removal, a cover-up to prevent the spring's closure, or Ben faking his disappearance. However, these theories lacked evidence or plausibility. The dive community's hope of finding Ben in the cave dwindled, and the search was officially called off in September 2010. Ben's parents remained determined, offering a reward that escalated to $30,000. This incentive led to a tragic incident in March 2012, when a diver searching for Ben drowned, prompting criticism and the eventual withdrawal of the reward. Ben's parents then considered foul play, investigating the dive shop and its employees, uncovering criminal records and serious charges against the owner. A violent incident involving the owner and a temporary employee raised suspicions, but no concrete link to Ben's case was established. The owner's subsequent death in a freak accident and police secrecy fueled further speculation. Diving legend Jill Heinerth, intrigued by the case, produced a documentary exploring the cave and Ben's maps, ultimately believing Ben might be concealed in an inaccessible crevice. This theory, while plausible, left many questions unanswered. The last confirmed sighting of Ben was when he refilled his tanks at the dive shop. Despite thorough investigations and searches, no conclusive evidence or credible sightings have emerged since. The lack of physical evidence in the cave and surrounding areas challenges the theory of Ben's presence there, leaving open the possibilities of body removal, a staged disappearance, or foul play. The case remains one of diving's most baffling mysteries, with numerous theories but little evidence to support any. If you found this story intriguing and want to stay updated with more fascinating tales, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more content like this to you.